Through week 7, the Denver Broncos were 2-5. On a 5-game losing streak, the offense was broken, the defense was subpar, and it looked like another long season upcoming in the Mile High City. Our injury luck wasn't much better. Headlined by standout rookie running back Ashton Jeanty, one of the few bright spots on this team, tearing his pectoral in week 9 against the Chargers. At this point in the season, we were pretty doomed. But then, something clicked. He's got the rookie Savion Williams, who gets by James. Down the field, nobody in front of him. 10-5, touchdown! Savion Williams into the end zone with no flags. The Broncos had learned how to win. And we did it again. And again after that. And again after that as well. But after that, it just got even harder. Go and look at the clock. They're going to have time for one more play. This is it. Levis under pressure. He's sacked. The defensive player of the year, Nick Bonito. First and goal at the 1. QB sneak. It's over. Bo Nix wins it in overtime. At some point, all good things have to come to an end. Our 7-game winning streak was snapped at the hands of the Kansas City Chiefs, who were able to clinch the division with this game, putting us at 9-6 with 2 games to go, in control of our own fate. So they will have enough time for 2 plays unless, again, he gets tackled in the field of play. 3rd and goal from the 3. Watson is sacked! A happy ending for the Broncos! After barely squeaking by the NFL's worst team, that brought us to week 18. A de facto playoff game against the Indianapolis Colts. Season on the line. We're putting it in the hands of our quarterback. Nix rolls out to the right, floats it up, and it is caught for a touchdown! It's Greg Dulcich! A bodacious final drive! Do you believe in miracles? At Denver to the playoffs had he caught it. 2nd and 10 with 10 seconds. Up the middle. Adonai Mitchell to the 39. The Colts are going to use their second timeout with 7 seconds, and now it's decision time. A 56-yarder for Greg the Leg Zuerlein to tie the game and send it to overtime. The kick is no good! And the Denver Broncos are going to the playoffs! The Denver Broncos have crashed the party, and we're not leaving anytime soon. The journey continues in Buffalo, our first playoff game of the series against Josh Allen and the Bills. Buffalo has been a consistent playoff team ever since Josh Allen got drafted, but they haven't been able to get over the hump, making it out of the divisional round just once. But this year might be different. Josh Allen just won the MVP, and the Bills are playing as well as we are, having won 9 of their last 11 games. But that's not going to faze us. We were 2-5. Our team was broken. Our season was over. We were on a 5-game losing streak with 4 of those games decided by multiple possessions. But from there, something clicked. And even with the injuries that we dealt with throughout this season, our next man up mentality was able to keep this team winning. We have won 9 of our last 10 games and are amongst the hottest teams in the NFL. We've beaten many great teams during this stretch, most notably the Cowboys, who are the number 1 seed. Now, we've had some barn burners over the last couple of weeks, barely squeaking by the NFL's worst team, the Cleveland Browns, and defeating the Colts in a thriller in a matchup where the winner would go to the playoffs. Of course, our team has dealt with ups and downs as this season has gone along, inconsistencies on both sides of the ball. This was not the second season that we were really expecting for Bo Nix. Through the first half of the year, he was pretty bad. And with that Jets pick trending towards being at the top of the draft, it was assumed that Avery Johnson or Cade Klubnik would be the starting quarterback here next year. But Bo Nix has played his best football down the stretch, coming off a great game against the Colts. Ashton Jeanty gets hurt halfway through the year, but we're able to figure out how to run the ball without him in the lineup. Marvin Mims gets injured early in the year, and when he came back, he's been one of the most valuable receivers in the NFL. His consistency over the last 8 weeks has proven to be very valuable for this offense, but it's not just him. Tez Johnson, drafted in the 5th round, has been a steal. Greg Dulcich, there's no way around it. He's been a disappointing draft pick, but he made the biggest play of the series with his touchdown catch against Indy. The offensive line has not been particularly good throughout the year, but they've found ways to get better, And then the defense with young talent aplenty, rookies like Marvin Grant, Jeffrey Bossa, and Michael Williams proving to make huge impacts. 3 double-digit sack getters, nearly with 4 if Baron Browning didn't get injured. And then, of course, Nick Bonitto, who went from a rotational pass rusher into the Defensive Player of the Year. And without him, we would not be in the playoffs whatsoever. Bonitto was held in check last week against the Colts, but that didn't stop him from making his first Pro Bowl, winning 2 AFC Defensive Player of the Weeks, and again, the Defensive Player of the Year and the best linebacker within the conference. But it's not a one-man show. We lead the NFL in sacks. We lead the NFL in tackles for loss. The secondary has had its good moments and bad moments, and the special teams has been quite solid as well. Before we talk about the Bills, though, real quick, I do want to go over our studs and duds of the year as voted on by you guys in the last episode. Keep in mind, this is an expectations and ratings-based award, and to absolutely no surprise, Nick Bonitto ends up in first place. I'm honestly a little bit surprised he only got 84% of the first place vote, but yeah, this is a no-brainer. He went from a rotational pass rusher to arguably the most impactful defensive player in the NFL. And if you remember last year, we had him as a Stud of the Year nominee. He got second place, but this year was an entirely different animal. Before his rating and development trait boost, he's asking for $26 million. That's not a lot for a guy of his caliber, but he gets to go up by 3 rating points, and he now has superstar development. I do want to keep in mind, though, there's a good chance that the game is going to upgrade his development anyway since he had such a good season. If the game does move him up to X Factor, I would move him back down to Superstar, since for the Stud of the Year, you can only go up in development trait once. He's probably going to get a lot of XP as well. That's going to stick. His asking price has now doubled, and as he gets more XP, I imagine it's going to go up even further. But given how he played this year, that number still feels low and still is a bargain. Jonathan Cooper ended up in second place, narrowly over Drew Sanders. So if the game ups Nick Bonitto's development trait again, then we would move it down, and it would go to the next highest finisher, which would be Jonathan Cooper, who finished with 10 sacks this year. Now, I don't know if star development's really going to be that big of a deal for him. He will be 28 next year, but he is going to get a +2 ratings boost. Very well deserved. We signed him to a 1-year extension last offseason. I wasn't really sold on it, though, given the amount of talent we had up front, but clearly it was a good move, given how well he played this year. And then Drew Sanders ends up in third. I always like to highlight guys who have overcome adversity in some way, and for Sanders, that was an Achilles tear prior to what was supposed to be a huge second season. Sanders comes back with a big role and ends up playing really well. His rating and development trait will go up by 1, and I'm excited for the future of this linebacking core with Sanders, Jeffrey Bossa, and the rookie Marvin Grant, who, even though he's listed as a safety, primarily plays in the box. As for the dud of the year, Mike McGlinchey narrowly edges out Quinn Miners. I honestly think Nick Gargiulo's the better player, and the only reason why he's not starting right now is because he's hurt. McGlinchey's been given his job back because of the injury, and even though the sack numbers aren't that high, he's allowed a lot of pressures and has been inconsistent in the run game. This is turning out to be a pretty bad contract. He's going to be making $24 million over the next 2 seasons, and his rating will go down by 3. He's only a 77, and he only has normal development. I don't think the dev trait loss is that big of a deal. He's going to be 31 next year, but given his age, he's going to be regressing pretty quickly. So a -3 ratings loss is a pretty big deal. Quinn Miners, meanwhile, comes in second, and while he wasn't completely abysmal this year, arguably a little better than last year, we're paying him as one of the top guards in the NFL, and he is rated as such, an 87 overall, the 5th highest rated player at his position in the NFL, but he has not lived up to that over each of the first 2 seasons of this series. So his rating will go down by 2. He's only an 85 overall. He's still quite good, at least on paper, but he's going to have to play better. Otherwise, he's going to continue to go down in rating. As for third place, that ends up being John Franklin Myers, who was our final Stud of the Year candidate last year. He ended up getting last place, so his ratings only went up by 1. And now that's going to be offset because they go down by 1. Now, statistically, he wasn't that much worse than last year, and keep in mind he did miss 4 games this season. But regardless, his impact still really wasn't felt. He only had 3.5 sacks this year, 3 of which came against the Browns. He only had half a sack the rest of the year. Now, if there is a positive, it does feel like he's playing his best football right now, and hopefully that's a sign of things to come for the playoffs. But throughout the regular season, it felt like he was a non-factor out there. with guys like Jonathan Cooper and Michael Williams overshining him, along with obviously Benito and Browning. So he'll go down by 1. He is now only a 79 overall, which again offsets his +1 boost from last year. And now that brings us to this matchup against the Buffalo Bills. We travel to Orchard Park as the 6th seed in the AFC with a record of 11-6. And even though we have been one of the hottest teams in the NFL, we're still the underdog coming into this game. It's our first night or primetime game of the entire year, and we're playing against a Bills team who's been playing just as well as we have during their win streak. They've been blowing teams out, and they've got the MVP at quarterback in Josh Allen. It's sort of a shame that these two teams are matched up with each other given how well we've played as of recent, but we're not the only hot shots right now in the AFC. The Ravens have won 3 in a row. The Steelers have won 5 in a row. The Texans have won 4 in a row. There's some good football being played in the American Football Conference right now. As for the NFC, some fascinating storylines here include the defending champion Lions, who started the year 0-4, and they won 10 of their next 11 before losing 2 in a row. They don't really make a lot of sense. It's a good thing they won their championship last year. The Rams were the favorites in the NFC West for most of the year, but dropped 4 straight. They're not the only team on a long losing streak to miss out. The Colts lost their last 3 games and would have made it in had they won just one of those matchups. So let's dissect this Buffalo Bills schedule. They started the year 2-3. They were mediocre going into their early bye week. They lose to the Ravens, and it seems like the sky is falling. Then they blow out the Bucs, and the Jets, and the Saints, and the Dolphins, and the Panthers. The Bills, like us, went on a long winning streak of 7 games in a row. But they've been shaky as of recent, only having won 2 of their last 4, albeit that does include a huge win in Week 18 against the Jaguars. Let's look at Josh Allen, the NFL's MVP. The question with Allen is, when you're ranking the top quarterbacks in the NFL, how high is he? He's not number 1, where Patrick Mahomes is. But the discussion of who's number 2 starts with Josh Allen. He is coming off a ridiculously good season this year, completing 71% of his passes, leading the Bills to an 11-6 record and the 3rd seed in the conference. But it's not just him. James Cook, Ray Davis, Keon Coleman has developed into a star. Khalil Shakir, our short king, Greg Dortch, and Dalton Kincaid lead the offense. The defense has been one of the best in the league too. Gregory Rousseau and Ed Oliver have formed a nice tandem. The youth in the secondary with Malachi Starks, the rookie, and Cole Bishop have been very impressive. The Bills have the number 1 scoring defense in the NFL. They're a top 10 scoring offense. They outscore their opponents by 8 points per game, whereas our point differential is negative. The Bills finish towards the top of the league in passing yards allowed and against, and finish in the top half of the NFL in terms of rushing on both sides of the ball. As for us, we're a good rushing team in our own right, amongst the NFL leaders in rushing yards as a team, despite the fact that nobody individually finished more with 600, thanks to Ashton Jeanty missing 8 games and Javonte Williams missing 5. Patrick Surtain is proud of us for exceeding expectations. We looked like a middling team at best halfway through the season, but to pull the locker room together and win 9 of 10, that's certainly going to build some cohesion for the guys within the building, and both sides of the ball are going to get a lot of XP as we were able to live up to our word and then some for both of those storylines. We do have one more order of business though. Josh Reynolds was put on IR after breaking his ribs against the Colts. Overall, we've done a lot worse this year in terms of the injuries, but losing Reynolds is a big deal. And replacing him on the roster will be Kyle Van Noy. I think we're a little bit weak in terms of linebacking depth. Rather than going after another receiver, I like the group that we've got in the room already. So let's get this show on the road. Sunday Night Football here in Orchard Park, New York. The 11-6 Buffalo Bills, having won 9 of their last 11 games, face off against the 11-6 Denver Broncos, winners of 9 of their last 10. 2 of the hottest teams in the NFL, with the MVP Josh Allen against 25-year-old Bo Nix in his first career NFL playoff game. It's been an up-and-down second season for Bo, but he's played some of his best football over the last month or so, including what I believe is the best game of his career last week in the win against the Indianapolis Colts. With that game being a de facto road playoff game, I'm hoping that our team is already ready to the playoff environment, although it might be a little different here in Buffalo as this game is underway Welcome to the playoffs, everybody. Tez Johnson with it on the return, and he will bring it to around the 30-yard line. And so we take our first look at Bo Nix and company. The offense has been the weak point for this team throughout the year, but it's definitely gotten better as the season has gone along, despite the fact that we've missed our best playmaker, Ashton Jeanty, who, if he was able to stay healthy, likely would have finished towards the top of the NFL in terms of rushing. An early third down for the Bronco offense, 3rd and 3 at the 47. Nix under center will look to throw it. Nobody's open deep, but Javonte Williams is there in the flats. He gets it to the 45-yard line. Overall, Williams has done a pretty solid job of taking care of business without Jeanty in the lineup, as it's another third down now, 3rd and 4. Nix, pretty clean pocket, now under pressure late, looks deep, and it's broken up to Ron Johnson in coverage. I expect him to be matched up with Marvin Mims quite a bit. Their top corner, our top receiver. Iron sharpens iron. So take a look at the kicking meter. You notice that it's kind of moving around. It might be a challenge for us to kick here in the cold on the road as Rigoberto Sanchez shanks the punt, and the Bills are going to start at the 24-yard line. Much better field position than we would have wanted to give them. As we take a look at the NFL's MVP, Josh Allen, coming off a fantastic season. I don't know if there's any quarterback in this year's playoffs who has more to prove than Josh Allen. He's been a great regular season player. He's always performed in the playoffs, but his team can't consistently seem to make it far. From the 30, 2nd and 4, Keon Coleman in motion. Here is Allen looking for the sideline. It's hauled in for a first down by Khalil Shakir. Anthony Richardson last week focused on the underneath game. He was very efficient within 5 to 10 yards of the line of scrimmage, and he might have found the weak point of this Denver defense, as this one is intercepted. Riley Moss picks it off, and Josh Allen's first drive of the game results in an interception. That's about as easy of a play as you'll see for Riley Moss. The ball was thrown right to him. Moss has dropped a couple over the last couple of weeks, but he holds on to that one as Denver gets it back. 3rd and 1 from the 44 with 4 to go in the first quarter. Williams can't seem to find the hole, but gets it late. Runs for the first down to the 49-yard line. A good run there for Javonte, and that'll put Denver past midfield. This is where the drive stalled last time, though, so we'll see if that happens again. Nix on first down, under pressure. Hit as he throws, he's got Mims. Whoop! Jukes away from Johnson and is wrapped up at the 33-yard line. Marvin Mims has become a complete receiver. He can run the entire route tree. He's dynamic with the ball in his hands and has been so good here through the second half of the year. As Nix is hit as he throws on third down, incomplete. Charles Omenihu with the pressure, and that'll bring out the field goal unit. 50-yarder here for Will Lutz with the kicking meter shaking as this one is no good. Wide to the right. Lutz only missed 3 kicks all year, but the weather and I guess the fans both had an impact on that one. This game remains scoreless, and the Broncos are unable to take advantage off the turnover. Josh Allen certainly looking for a better second drive. From the 40, he goes short. Dawson Knox puts the defender on his back and gets the first down, wrapped up at around the 50 by Jonathan Cooper. 3rd and 5 now at the 44. Allen looks to throw it, looks for the sideline. It's caught for a short first down by Curtis Samuel, this team's number 3 receiver, behind the duo of Coleman and Shakir. Now from the 38, it's a 3rd and 10 with James Cook in motion. Bills really aren't in field goal range yet. Allen looking deep. He's got Samuel! Wide open for a Bills touchdown, and Buffalo strikes first. The rookie, Savon Revel, is the one who got burnt on that play. And Revel has really struggled as of recent. That's now 3 weeks in a row where he's got burnt downfield and has allowed a big play. This one goes for a touchdown. And so the Bills strike first late here in quarter number 1. They lead at 7-0, and we'll see how Denver can respond as Bass kicks it off. Benjamin Morrison, the 6th-round rookie out of Notre Dame on the return. He's going to get by the defender, and there he goes! Down the field past the 50. A great return by Ben Morrison, and the Broncos will have excellent field position at the 49-yard line. Nix on first down, looks short, it's intercepted! Rasul Douglas picks it off, and he is gone! Untouched, into the end zone for a touchdown, and the Bills add to the lead. It was scoreless here in this first quarter, and now Buffalo scores on back-to-back plays from scrimmage. I don't even think that was a bad throw. Dulcich was clearly open for a while until he wasn't. Rasul Douglas jumps the route perfectly. Dulcich misplaces his hands as he's going for the ball. That's a new one. And now Buffalo leads 14-0, and already we have to play catch-up. Nix wants it all here at the end of the quarter. It's broken up for Marvin Mims, and that'll wrap up our first quarter of playoff football. It did not go well. To be fair, though, we were pretty even with the Bills for the first 9 minutes of the quarter. The problem is that we completely fell apart with a long third down touchdown by Curtis Samuel and a pick six by Rasul Douglas. We've got a lot of work to do going into the second quarter, and it's got to start on this drive. We'll open the frame with a 2nd and 10. Nix rolls out to the right, hoping to get somebody open on the run. It doesn't happen, and it doesn't matter. Marvin Mims with a strong gain to the 41. The biggest difference in Nick's game over the last few weeks is his ability under pressure. He's really figured out how to navigate through the pocket. As Harrison Whaley, his first carry of the game is a pretty good one to the 46-yard line. Got to see some fun splash moments in the second half of the year from Whaley, looking to replace the production from Ashton Genty. Now at the 40, 3rd and 4, Nix looks to throw it. Can't find anybody, looking up the middle, and it's just behind his intended target, Tez Johnson. Good coverage by Cole Bishop. 4th and 4 at the 40. We're not in field goal range. We're not really in punt range. So we're going to go for it. It's a gutsy call early in this game, but things haven't really gone well, so what is there to lose? Short throw is caught for a first down to the 29. Tez Johnson, the rookie, hauls it in, and the brotherly connection strikes for a solid gain. Now at the 11, here's Nix looking short. It's Dulcich inside the 5. A big third down conversion, given that I don't entirely trust seeing Will Lutz out there kicking field goals. Now a 1st and goal. Nix, short. It's caught for a touchdown. Marvin Mims hauls it in for the score, and the Broncos are on the board. A long and efficient drive to kick off the second quarter. We've still got some work to do, but we might be back in the game as it's 14-7. A really solid possession there by Bo Nix after a not-so-good first quarter. Seems like he's starting to settle in there as the Bills get it back. Their first drive of the quarter. This one is caught by Keon Coleman. Throws down Grant and gets the first down. He's still on his feet and is eventually wrapped up at the 44. He's actually not going to get credited with the first down because he was on top of the defenders who pushed him back. High IQ play there by Denver as that sends us to the 2-minute warning. Bills continuing to move it. 3rd and 5. At the 35, it's broken up by Riley Moss. And that'll trot out the field goal unit. It's a 52-yarder from Tyler Bass. You never know with him. He could miss it from 20. He could make it from 60. And this one is a bullet. The Bills add to the lead at 17-7. We'll see if the Broncos can score before the end of the half. Even if we just get a field goal, I think that'd be a really big deal given that the Bills start with the ball in the second half. The last thing we need is to be down by multiple scores and starting on defense. The offense is coming off a slow but strong previous possession, resulting in a touchdown from the 36. Nix under pressure, and he is sacked on the play. It's Ed Oliver who leads the way along with Edufeyan Olufoshu. And now it's a 3rd and 16. Play action. Nix scrambles with it, rolls to the right. On the run for Dulcich. He gets the first down to the 49-yard line. And the Broncos call their first timeout of the half. They've still got 2 more in their back pocket, along with 69 seconds, as it's a screen for Williams to the outside. Nice tackle by Johnson. That keeps him inbounds, and it's going to take some time off the clock. 2nd and 2, Nix for the sticks. It's Marvin Mims, and he gets it to the 25. Now, the booth would review if he was in. I think in real time he very clearly was, but I guess it is worth another look. Really smart play there by the Broncos, because assuming he was in and then got out of bounds, that's going to stop the clock. A heads-up play there by Marvin Mims, already his 5th reception of the first half. He's picked up right where he's left off from his fabulous end of the regular season, and sure enough, the play would stand. From the 25, 2nd and 10. Nix rolls out under pressure, being chased from behind. He's going to take off and run. A potential loss of 8 turns into a gain of 8, and best of all, he went out of bounds, able to stop the clock. 3rd and 2, now at the 16-yard line. We are actually going to run the ball. Javonte Williams gets the first. With the 2 timeouts that we have to play with, we figure we can afford to run the ball, try to get this first down, and call the second timeout. We've still got 1 more in our back pocket. But we still have to be mindful of the clock, given that there's only 24 seconds. From the 11, Nix looks to scramble, has space, rolls out to the right, runs forward, he's in! Bo Nix with a rushing touchdown, and Denver, who was down by 14 to start the second quarter, is fully back in the ballgame. 2 impressive drives here in quarter number 2 from the offense to help bring us back in it, and it is only a 1-possession ball game, 17-13, pending the PAT, which, again, given the kicking conditions, is no guarantee. Look how fast it's moving. And sure enough, the kick from Lutz is no good! It's wide to the right. Lutz only missed 3 kicks all year, but he's missed 2 in the first half. That has kept 4 points off the board in what would otherwise be a tie game. But now we find ourselves trailing 17-13 as we go into halftime. I don't really want to spoil what happened in the other games in case we do win. I want to keep you guys on a cliffhanger, so despite the fact that this is the last game of Wild Card Weekend and these other 2 matchups are being played, I'm not going to tell you who won, even though you can see one of the scores on the bottom. Let's go to the second half now. What do we need to do to adjust? Bad final minute of the first quarter, but otherwise, I feel like we played pretty well. I want to see the short area of the passing game continue to be utilized and efficient. We're doing a good job in the intermediate spaces of the field, though. And then defensively, I think we've done a much better job of defending the short pass, but I still want that to be our focus given how much Anthony Richardson exploited it a week ago. Josh Allen starts in the zone here as the Bills open with possession. 3rd and 1. Knox gets the first down. It's a gain of 6 to the 50. The Bills trying to move efficient here, set the tone in the third quarter because right now it doesn't really feel like they had the momentum. They only had 1 possession in the second quarter. At the 50, Allen under pressure. He is sacked for the first time today. Jonathan Cooper had 10 in the regular season and now 1 here in the wild card round, forcing him down for a loss of 4. 3rd and 13 now at the 47. Allen looks to throw it, scrambles to the right, looking to run with it, and he gets around 8. There's a flag on the play, and it's going to be on the offense, a holding call against Buffalo, and now we have a decision to make. 4th and 5. That would be a long 4th down conversion, and they're not in field goal range. We could accept it, but that kind of takes the risk, a big play possibility. So I'm going to decline the penalty. The Bills are going to go for it, but somebody jumped at the line. Either it's a first down or they have to punt it, and sure enough, it's on the defense. Jonathan Cooper went into the neutral zone, and so that's going to end up as a first down for the Bills. Quite the sequence there for Buffalo, a risky decision by us to decline the penalty that ultimately backfires on the ensuing flag by Cooper. From the 32, Cook breaks the tackle from Bossa, gets by Jones, and is wrapped up at the 15 by Chris Abrams-Drain. A nice play after the catch there by James Cook. The Bills have it in the red zone with a chance to add to their lead. 1st and 10, back to Cook, up the middle, breaks the tackle, nobody in front of him, he's gone! A huge drive to open up the third quarter by Buffalo. Not only do they add to the lead, make it a multi-possession deficit, add some momentum, but they also took a lot of time off the clock. A 6-minute drive of their own. 3rd and 10 from the 37. Nix goes short. Mims does not get the first down. Big hit by Terrell Bernard, and this could be shaping up to look like the third quarter of last week's game. The Colts use all that time on their opening possession. Then Denver gets it. They do nothing. And the Bills have a chance to take more time off the clock, but they won't. Josh Allen misfires on 3rd and 7, and they're going to have to punt it away at 3 and out of their own. So Denver's going to get it back shortly thereafter. 3rd and 4 at the 44. Nix, clean pocket, has all day, and eventually Franklin is wide open, and he gets it into the red zone to the 17. Nix recognized that he was going to have all day to throw it. Props to the offensive line for all of those guys making big-time reps. And he waits for somebody to get open where eventually it's Franklin, who's open in the end zone for a touchdown. And Denver has it within 5, again pending the extra point. Troy Franklin only scored twice this year, but he gets a big touchdown on that play, and we are going to go for 2, try to make it a clean field goal deficit. Nix alone in the backfield, rolls right, he's got Mims! 24-21. It's a risky play design to have Nix alone in the backfield, and he was under a lot of pressure there. But we trust Marvin Mims to make a play. He was the first and really only read on that one. He's able to get open and come down with it. The perks of having a true number 1 receiver. Bills back with it, 3rd and 7. Allen is sacked on the blitz. Marvin Grant brings him home, and Buffalo has to punt it away. Through 3 quarters, we've got a good one. 24-21. The Bills with the slight edge. Denver gets possession to start the fourth, looking to take the lead. Can Bo Nix help us win our first playoff game of the series? I think Bo's had a pretty good game. If anything, he's honestly been a little bit better than Josh Allen up to this point, but we've still got another quarter to go. It's not like we have the lead or anything. We can't get too excited. But we are going to start with good field position at the 43-yard line, as it's a handoff for Javonte Williams to the outside. A big gain, and he gets it past the 40, but it's probably not going to matter. A flag on the play, holding on the offense. They're going to call this one on Greg Dulcich, and that'll move us back to the 33, where it's a first, now a second and 19. Nix looks to throw it up the middle. Mims with a nice catch, making it a third and much more manageable before taking a big hit by Milano. But again, it will not matter. Holding on the offense. This time it's Morgan Moses. Instead of a 3rd and 7, it's 2nd and 29. I would rather take my chances with the former. We're going to go for the screen here with Zamir White. Try to get as many yards back as possible. And it's a solid gain. He gets 13 yards. But now it's 3rd and 16. And we might need a big play here from the 37-yard line. Nix looks to throw it. Lobs it up. Tez Johnson is open and he's got it. Tez Johnson off to the races. Denver takes the lead. A 63-yarder from Bo Nix to Tez Johnson. And the Broncos are on top. Bo Nix has been inconsistent with the deep ball this year, but he's able to loft it up. Rather than going for the bullet, he tries to put a lot of air under it to where Tez Johnson's the only one who can make a play on the ball. Johnson's open, he gets early separation, and he's loose. 28-24, a big drive here for the Bills, and they've still got plenty of time, 9 minutes left, looking to regain the lead. 2nd and 7, here's Allen. Up the middle, he's got Dalton Kincaid with a big gain, past the 50 to the 45. A nice play there by the third-year tight end out of the University of Utah, as it's now a 2nd and 2. Clock is moving with around 7 minutes to go. Cook is in motion. Allen up the middle, another first down. It's a short one for Curtis Samuel, who brings it to the 29 before being tackled by the rookie, Jeffrey Bassa. Following play, 2nd and 10, under 6 to go. Play action. Allen goes short. Dawson Knox this time, breaks the tackle, and gets it to the 17-yard line. The Bills are in the red zone. They're moving it really nicely down the field here. The pass rush isn't coming home. Baron Browning's been quiet. Nick Benito's been quiet. Michael Williams has been quiet as Kincaid gets it to the 1. And the Bills are inching very close to the end zone, now over halfway through the fourth quarter with under 5 to go. Ray Davis in the backfield. He gets it on first down, and man, he is close. They're not going to give it to him. He's tackled at around the half-yard line. 2nd and goal now at the 1. Not even the half-yard line, maybe the quarter-yard line. I don't know why Allen is in shotgun. He gets it to Keon Coleman, and he is tackled in the end zone. They're going to call that a touchdown. I honestly am not sure he was in. I thought Jordan Davis got him a bit short. And ultimately, it is a touchdown, and we, for whatever reason, cannot challenge it. So the touchdown stands. The booth never looked at it either. And it's 31-28. So the Broncos are going to get it back down by 3 with 4 minutes to go. Can Bo Nix lead the offense down the field to tie it or take the lead in the biggest drive of this game? We're going to start with a loss of yards for Zamir White on first down, wrapped up by Milano. 2nd and 11. Nix looks short. Marvin Mims has it, and he gets 6. 3rd and 5 now, trying to move back to the line quick with a sense of urgency as it's broken up by Milano, and now it's decision time. My thought process here is, say that we don't get the 4th down. If the Bills get stopped, they would only get a field goal. It'd still be a one-score game. So because of that, I think it's worth the risk to go for it. Nix, under a little pressure, has a wide-open man. Tez Johnson down the field, past the 50, out of bounds at the 49 as Teron Johnson is hurt. Tez Johnson was wide open there, his second 4th down conversion of the game. I'm not sure why he didn't stay in the flats. That would have been an easy first down. Instead, he tries to be aggressive, goes for the big play, and it works. Credit to him. From the 49, Nix goes short. It's going to be a decent gain of 4. Nobody was open, so we're going to dump it off for the check down to Javonte Williams. 2nd and 10 now at the 45. Lowe looks to throw under pressure on the blitz. On the run. Hit as he throws. It's caught! Troy Franklin, having one of the best games of his career, brings it to the 22. We are now in field goal range, but I'm not thinking 3. With the kicking questions throughout this game, I would rather not have to kick a game-tying field goal. We are very much so looking for the end zone on this drive. 1st and 10. Williams to the right side doesn't get much. Since we're so far down the field, the clock isn't our enemy anymore. If anything, it's our friend. And I don't want the Bills to get too much more time with the football. 2nd and 10 at the 22. Blitz comes. Nix finds space up the middle. Runs for the first down to the 7. What a heads-up play there by Nix. He recognized when the pressure comes, he's able to find the hole, cut upfield. 1st and goal, under a minute left. Nix scrambles again. He's got space, and he's in! Bo Nix with his 2nd rushing touchdown of the game and his 5th all-purpose touchdown of the afternoon. The Broncos take the lead with 46 seconds to go, and when our offense needs 2 big drives here in the playoffs, we get them. And I look back to the Colts game last week. We were in a similar spot. We needed 2 huge drives from Bo Nix, and he delivered. The Bills are down by 4. Now they've got 42 seconds left. Can Josh Allen lead them down the field for the win? Allen on 1st down is a wide open man. Boink, off of Kincaid's helmet, incomplete. A gain of about possibly 20. Thrown out the window because he turned his head a fraction of a second too late. 2nd and 10. Allen under pressure. He is sacked. Mykel Williams, the rookie, brings him down, and the Bills are not going to use any of their 3 timeouts. Broken up on 3rd and 17 there by Surtain. Can we go back to the end of that sack, though? They have 3 timeouts. That's the time to use it. Now it's 4th and 17. There's under 20 seconds left, and now they pretty much have to throw it downfield. The game essentially on the line. Play action. Who are you fooling with a run? As it is broken up! Surtain is there with the stop. Now, since the Bills are allergic to using timeouts, there's still 9 seconds left. So the game isn't completely over, but if we use a lot of time on these plays, we should be fine. Williams to the outside uses around 4 or 5 seconds there. That's huge. That is not good for the Bills. They used their first timeout. Now it's a 2nd and 5 at the 20. We'll go back to Williams. He's got plenty of space. Clock hits 0. He hits the ground, and this game is over. The Denver Broncos are moving on to the 2nd round of the playoffs as they defeat the Bills in thrilling fashion, 35-31. What a comeback here by the Denver Broncos, who were down by 14 after the first. We were down by 11 halfway through the 3rd, but we find a way to survive and advance. Bo Nix in the 2nd half was absolutely fantastic, leading multiple huge drives, including the game winner, where he finished it off with a rushing touchdown. And then the Bills at the end, they blew it. The coaching on that last drive was inept. They had like 45 seconds and all 3 timeouts. They were allergic to using timeouts. They ran play action on 4th and 17. Who are you fooling? Nobody in this building is expecting you to run the ball on 4th and long. Regardless, though, Bo Nix outplayed Josh Allen. There's no way around it. Bo Nix was outstanding. 66% completion percentage, 334 yards, 3 touchdowns. He did have the pick 6, but I thought that was more so a good defensive play, whereas the interception by Josh Allen was just a really bad read. He only averaged 5.5 yards per attempt. He was less accurate than Bo Nix. Bo outplayed the NFL's MVP today. Marvin Mims with a strong game. Curtis Samuel, meanwhile, had 5 drops. Now, I don't think that's really fair to him. None of them were open drops. It was just a lot of PBUs by Surtain, who was excellent today. Big game from Troy Franklin. Tez Johnson with a couple huge 4th down conversions, and then the 63-yard touchdown in the 4th. And then defensively, it was kind of weird because we struggled up front. The run defense wasn't great. The pass rush wasn't great. Nick Benito was really quiet. But the secondary is the reason why we won this game. The coverage and the tackling in the back end was fantastic. The secondary's been inconsistent this year. The front 7 is why we're in the playoffs, but today it was reversed. And now the question is, who will we play against in the 2nd round? You guys are going to have to find out next time.